And today we're going to dive into the topic of senior or experienced entrepreneurship, because we do believe that you have what it takes.
I think we're living in a very, very interesting times. We're living in an unprecedented demographic change. The world is changing around us. The way the population composition are out there is changing. And not only that, we are all living longer and relatively in good health and with a desire to get engaged. And what is really interesting that we see a mismatch. We can see all these things happening, living longer, healthier, and so on. But we live in a world that the model of work is still stuck in the 20th century, stuck in that model of work that you study, you work, you get a golden pen, and you go home and retire. And that's no longer a reflection of people's lives and what people want out there. It's a stage of life that's unique in its own right, where people achieved certain things, they found their talents, their voices, the things they are interested in, and that's the time to get some real action on that. That even though being an entrepreneur has its challenges, and I'm sure that will be talked about here by others, because you don't have the employment benefits or the protections, and depending on country you are, that's actually quite generous and substantial. Even without that, what people say to researchers out there is that the benefits outweighs the risks. And one of the things that we find is learning to have that entrepreneurial identity is not only beneficial to setting up a business, but is beneficial to find yourself in your organization as well. So we are now opening up a big unknown. What's going to happen next? How are we crafting that stage of life? And I think I'm big believers that we are trailblazers. We're going to see a complete revolution the way work is structured in the late stage of life.
Elizabeth, like many of us, is convinced we need a global movement to change our mindset around aging and retirement. We're very happy to be part of that movement. And for so many years, our age group has been seen as a silver tsunami. The changing demographic was not really seen as very positive. And we believe intuitively in the capabilities of the people over 50. So far, it is an enormous untapped resource, and the economic impact of the senior entrepreneurs is amazing. They're job creators, actually. So for instance, did you know that the largest age group in the world starting businesses are the older demographic? So more specifically, between the ages of 55 and 64. That is a study of Kaufman. And did you know that 78% of businesses started by people over 50 are still in business after 5 years, versus 28% of businesses started by people over 50, under 50, started by younger people, I'm sorry. So that was a research done in the UK. So wouldn't it be great to connect these generations? So the younger ones with specific skills, and the other ones, the older ones, with their lifelong experience. We should not put any age group in silos, but embrace the diversity and, of course, embrace each other's qualities.
Also, build on your experience. I did not want to become a violin maker. I mean, I wanted to start a business based on all of my experience. I didn't hate my experience. I just disliked some of the work that I did, some of the employers that I had, some of the particular jobs that I got painted into a corner with. I did not hate my experience. I valued my experience, and I certainly cherished my network. And I'm a firm believer that building on that to start your own business can be very, very enriching. Some surprises for me. And this, I think, is a marvelous one. As much ageism as we encounter trying to raise money for our business, I have never encountered an instant of ageism since I launched my business. After I gave up trying to raise money and started focusing on my business, I have never encountered ageism. Now, there may have been some behind the scenes that I wasn't privy to, but I can tell you with a great degree of confidence, customers, suppliers, in my particular case, they don't seem to be the least bit interested in my age. If they're a customer, they want to know about quality, price, service, and whether I'm 64 or 24, they could care less. I just don't have much in common with them. So that was an interesting revelation to me, actually, that I couldn't have guessed it before I experienced it myself. Concluding, all I can say is that this time for me, these last 11 years have been the most enriching, rewarding, and challenging time of my life, really. I would have to say, this is actually the best time of my life. I really mean that quite sincerely. Certainly the best job I've ever had. And I've had good jobs, no question about it. But, you know, being in charge of my own business is certainly the best job I've ever had. I guess probably the best thing I can say is that my grandkids are proud of me. And so, you know, it's kind of hard to top that.
Cheryl, at this stage of your life, why is it so important to start something new?
Well, I would say there's three parts to this answer. So partly, and the first part is partly due to wanting to feel useful and escape away from the constant worry of low income and no retirement fund. So creating, writing, designing in my studio has given me comfort and a purpose. Partly due to the lovely feedback and compliments I was receiving when showing my work, and my studio started to bulge with all kinds of things that I have designed. And partly because I love an adventure, trying new things, meeting people, and apparently it's part of my DNA.
So what have you experienced during the Experience Entrepreneurship program that has really ignited, awakened that entrepreneurial spirit for you?
Well, I personally found it so wonderful and positive. It's how the program took me and the other participants on a journey of self-discovery, awakening our beliefs and wants. And it made me realize that I had what is necessary to pursue my dreams. A business is not just bricks and mortar. To be successful, you need to be excited and invested. It is understanding who you were, who you became, and what you're bring forward. The best part of this program was the growth in myself and the other participants to understand, know, and desire to make it happen. And I've just made a little note here that I wanted to add, that why this program was so wonderful for me is I never felt alone, that it wasn't just me taking notes and learning and getting a little information. It was, I felt that the instructors that helped us through each week, I didn't think of them as teachers, instructors, they were guides. They guided us along and they made us think and feel. And it was just a wonderful overall experience. And I can't say enough, like I said, in one of the things I wrote, that a business is bricks and mortar, but you can't just be bricks and mortar. You have to feel it and love it and do it and be part of it. And that's what makes, I think, that makes an entrepreneur. And as I said to Tatiana earlier, she said, what did you think of the program? It was life-changing. So thank you.
That they really are looking, all of them, for a network to support them, to really be there for them, to be able to run ideas, have a sounding board, etc. So yes, I was saying that if you're not a member of the Wise Move Society, I think every one of us who is can vouch for the fact that this is a place that a meeting of the minds, and the support that we all receive is really significant. So that's one step that you could take, is if you're not already a member, to become a member. Absolutely.